All right. Now, we're about to get into talking about bus tracks and auxiliary tracks. What a bus track is, it's a track, which is one of these. It's a track that a group of sounds are collected into, and their main source, and their sound comes from that track. For example, uh, my vocals here. These vocals are going to a bus, so their sound gets transported or delivered to that bus instead of the master track. And the bus, the bus is what gives their sound to the master track. So while all these sounds are going to the same place, all these sounds are going to the same place, you're able to control them all at once and add whatever effects or do whatever you need to do to them all at one time. And it just makes it a whole lot easier, and it saves you from having to use a lot of plugins, and saves you CPU so that your computer is not lagging and all that stuff. But all of them can be affected all at once, and you can also adjust their volume or whatever, and it's all being sent to the master track so that they can still be heard. And now what an auxiliary track is basically you being able to send these sounds or whatever sound to an effect. Like if I wanted to put the hi hat, add add some reverb to a hi hat, I would send a copy of the hi hat to the reverb, and it will be fully, it'll be 100% affected by the reverb. The copy will, not the original sound. The original sound will still sound the same, but the copy will be 100% reverb effect or whatever, and you would adjust the amount of reverb you would want to hear on that instrument by adjusting the volume. And if you have multiple sounds going to the same reverb, then you would adjust the volume from the knob at the bottom um, of the sound where the sound is being sent to. There's a knob at the bottom, and you can adjust this to determine how much of the reverb you want to hear if you have multiple sounds going into that same reverb. Yeah, there's two ways. Those are the two ways of going about adjusting the amount of reverb or effect, any effect, onto that sound or with that sound. And yeah, those are the two things, the bus and auxiliary tracks. So I'm gonna go ahead and send my drums to the drum bus, which is this right here. Send them to the drum bus. Not the 808, just the kick and the snare and the hi hat. And what I'm gonna do now is disconnect them from the master track, so the sound doesn't go straight to the master track. It goes to the drum bus first. Let's just mute that. See how it's all you can hear right now. But if I was to mute it, you're not able to hear anything. But if I was to put it to the master track, like my kick, you're able to hear it. But it's going to the drum bus, so you're not able to hear it until I put the drum bus back on. And so now I can do pretty much whatever I want to these sounds all at one time. But all I needed them to get put into one group so that I'm able to put it into my drums parallel bus. Now, with the drum parallel bus, what it does is sends a copy of all those drums to another track. And on that track is where I'm going to apply the compression so that all my drums have a strong punch. And then I will adjust the fader to the amount of um, to find a balance of having the natural sound and the hard compressed sound. And so what this will do is it'll have my drums sounding natural, but also give them more punch and also sound bigger as well. So let's run through that real quick. Now remember, we're gonna apply the same amount of we're gonna apply the same technique that we did with compression that we've learned in the previous video. So it's just now it's gonna be even. We're just gonna compress it even more. So I'm gonna go ahead and run through that now. Are you able to hear the difference now? Okay. I'm gonna take out the drum parallel bus real quick, and I want you to just feel and hear how the natural drums themselves sound kind of weak. So just listen for that. All right, here we go. All right, so now I'm gonna add the parallel drums back. Sorry about the trucks in the background. I guess it's trash day or something. I don't know. But listen for how much stronger that they sound when I add the hard compressed drums. See, it's like, it's like they're more confident now. But yeah. So that's the drum. This is the drum bus. I collected all the sounds. I my kick, snare, and hi-hat, brought them to the same place. And that's the bus. And so the auxiliary track would be the drum parallel bus, because I have an effect on there that I'm working with, that I'm sending the copy of their sound into and adjusting to mix into with the original sound. So that's what the auxiliary track does. Okie dokie. So now we can go ahead and jump to the other sounds. The drums are good now, and we can go right into the 808. I treat the 808 differently than I do the drums or the other sounds, because it's sort of a mixture of both drums and uh, I guess you could call it music or whatever, the musical notes or whatever, um, because it does punch through the mix as well, but it also has a longer sustain or longer notes. So I treat it a bit differently. So it gets its own track. And since it's just one sound, it doesn't need a bus. So we can go straight to giving it the aux track. Just make things more simple, I'm gonna go ahead and call this aux as well. Okie dokie. So now we got the regular 808, and we're gonna send it to its auxiliary track. Oh, and what I also do with the 808 is I also go ahead and put it with the drum parallel bus as well. Well, let's just see what that does. Let's see. Yeah. And so that's why I put it in there, because it also gives it more punch and presence as well. Okay. So that sounds good. And so with this auxiliary track, what we're gonna do with the 808, because it's such a low tone sound, we're gonna add high frequencies to it. The way we're gonna do this is we're going to get the EQ, or should I do the distortion first? I'm going to do the distortion first, because what distortion does is it adds frequencies, higher frequencies. And so what this will do for the 808 is on any, I'll go ahead and say sound system, but I also mean, like, things like your phone or laptop or anything like that where it's hard to hear low frequencies. Adding distortion to that low frequency to will bring it high frequency so that you're able to hear it. And so that's what we're doing right now. We're gonna add high frequencies to the 808, so that you're able to hear it on your phone speaker or your laptop speaker, things like that. So we're just gonna figure out what distortion we want to use. And right now I'm thinking I'll use this. Send it yet? All right, cool. play around with this. I don't necessarily have a exact technique as to what I want to do to give it the distortion. But I kind of just mess around with it till I hear something that I like. And I'm liking that. Okay, dokie. So now, next thing we're gonna do is get our EQ, and we're going to take away the low end because we don't need extra low end because it's just unnecessary. So we're gonna take this out. We already got the low end we need, so we don't need this. We're gonna keep it in the mids. Let's see how much we took away. Okay, that was adding back. Okay, even us adding the EQ back, we can't really even get to its full volume, but that's because there's no more bass. There's no bass, and so it's even bring it to its full volume even when we turn this all the way up. But that's okay because over the speaker, you're able to hear this frequency, this track, the distortion before you even hear the 808 anyway. So though it's not as loud as the 808 is, you're able to hear it over speakers and like your phone speaker, your laptop speaker. And so while you're able to hear this, it's gonna be laying on top of the 808 since it's so low anyway. And it's playing the exact same notes and everything as 808 because it's the copy of an 808 just without the low end. So it lays on top of the 808, making it to where you're able to hear it as well as that way you're able to hear it as the 808 plays. And so it's doing everything that the 808 is doing, but now you're able to hear it instead of just feel it when you're playing it in your car or anything like that. Like now you're able to hear it over your phone speaker, your laptop speaker. And that's what we're doing right now with the 808 in this auxiliary track. Mix that as well, mix it in there. So we're gonna let everything else play, and we're gonna slowly bring in the distortion of the 808 copy until we're able to hear it till we're able to hear it mixed well with the rest of the instruments in the song.
Always hugs and the shit is so suffocating. And I know just the things that you be thinking. This world could all be yours.
And this is probably better done if you take out your headphones and just play it over your laptop speaker. That way you can hear it as it comes in. Because you can't hear the 808 over your regular laptop speaker. So you being able to mix this in with the regular laptop speaker will help a lot because you'll be able to hear the distortion as it comes in. Let's get back to it.
These hugs and the shit is so suffocating. And I know just the things that you be thinking. This world could all be yours. This is the South and the weather's so fucking friendly. Always hugs and the shit is so suffocating. And I know just the things that you be thinking. This world could all be yours. This is the South and the weather's so fucking friendly. Always.
All right, I think that's.
These hugs and the shit is so suffocating. And I know just the things that you be thinking. This world could all be yours. This is the South and the weather's so fucking friendly. Always hugs and the shit is so suffocating. And I know just the
And if it's not, I'll adjust later on. But right now, I think that's pretty good.
These hugs and this shit is so suffocating. And I know just the things that you be thinking. Yeah, this world could all be yours. This is the South and the weather's so fucking friendly. Always hugs and this shit is.
Okay. So now, what we can do is, oh, hold on. I'm thinking about putting these two into an auxiliary. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that because we're gonna move them into the reverb and delay effects anyway. So uh, let's just get these two and send them in over here. Now I'm able to go ahead and control these two all at one time or send them to one place at one time. So where we're going to be sending these are to the delay and reverb. But for right now, I think I'm just going to leave it how it is right now. And we'll get into the delay and reverb in the next video, just so you can kind of let this digest as you're watching it and things like that. So this is the end of this video, or of this step, and we can go ahead and hop into the next one. But of course,